guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. This is going to be a Scent Safari episode. In case you don't know about Scent Safari, it's where I go to a niche or indie house, and one thing I have some interest from, and I send them an email, ask them to send me some fragrances. Hopefully I get them back. If I do, I pick 4 of the fragrances they give me. And I do sort of a first impression video on those fragrances. And the way that I do it is the afternoon I do the video, I put those fragrances on skin, and then right before I do the video, I reapply them so that it sort of gives me a good indication for a day at least of what those fragrances might be like. I try to pick the 4 that I think will be most interesting to you guys. And today the house is Sonoma Scent Studio. Now, why did I pick Sonoma Scent Studio? Well, guys, when I first got into niche fragrances, I bought a lot. And what I mean by a lot is someone on the website Badger and Blade, which is really a shaving website, was selling a group of their niche and indie fragrances, samples, basically, really niche samples. They were selling, I think, 100 of them for X amount of dollars, and I bought them, and there was so much good stuff in there by Killian, Bond Number 9, discontinued Creed fragrances, just all that kind of stuff. And there was one little sample from a house called Sonoma Scent Studio. It was Sienna Musk, and I really enjoyed that one. It had a nice woody, musky vibe, great quality, and so I kind of tucked them away and went about my business. And then recently I read about a new scent they were doing called Equestrian, to me, which seemed super interesting, sort of inspired by horse stables. And so I reached out to the perfumer and owner, Lori Erickson. She sent me some samples. Wasn't able to get Equestrian. She was low on it at the time, but we will get into that one in a later video. And today we'll look at 4 of the scents that she sent me today. A little bit of info on the house. It debuted in 2004. They have about 30 fragrances in their lineup. It's all based on Sonoma and the country around there, and the nature and the geography of where Lori is. So it's all sort of based on the wonderful surrounding geography. Obviously that's wine country. There's so much going on there, and she sort of did a fragrance line sort of dedicated to Sonoma, and I think that's amazing. I'm going to link to the site in the description. There is a lot of size options for these, including 17 ml bottles, 5 ml travel sprays, 34 ml bottles, and 17 and 34 ml bottles for me are the perfect size for fragrances. I think if you don't want too much juice, and these are really high quality, so you probably don't need a 100 ml bottle of these. So first we're going to look at one called Spiced Citrus Vetiver, and this one is from the Naturals collection. These are scents that are all natural. I get a little scared of performance issues when I hear natural, but we'll see. Note-wise, with this one, we get blood orange, bergamot, ginger CO2, cinnamon bark CO2, clove bud absolute, jasmine sambac absolute, osmanthus absolute, Sri Lankan vetiver, Indonesian vetiver, Virginia cedar, Mysore sandalwood, and vanilla. A 17 ml bottle of this one will go for $64. You can get the 34 ml for $125. Also smaller options available for all of these. Definitely pricey, but you have to pay a little bit extra for those natural materials. And I think this one is really nice. I really like the hit of vetiver. Now I have to be honest with you, to me the blood orange in this one starts off way more natural. It's sort of, as it goes on, the orange becomes a little bit less natural. It sort of takes on like a life savory vibe, but but I definitely get like a spicy citrus vibe and really nice vetiver hit. So if you can imagine a spice citrus and some high quality vetiver, reminds me a little bit of a discontinued Creed fragrance called Spiced Orange or Orange Spice, I don't remember what. But I think this would be a perfect fragrance for some like older gentlemen, not even older, but like your dad maybe. Like if you're looking for a Father's Day gift, this might be a great option. It has a really old school vibe to it, and the quality is just through the roof. And for a natural fragrance, I was super surprised to learn, for me at least, that this one just lasts and lasts and lasts. It lasted all day on my skin so far, and you wind up with like a spicy orange vetiver. So good looks on this one. Next up is one that's gotten quite a bit of love on Fragrantica. You know, guys, Tom Ford has really stirred up the gourmand tobacco genre with Tobacco Vanille. These sort of scents have become widely popular. This one is called Tobacco Aurea. And the notes on Tobacco Aurea are cedar, sandalwood, tobacco, leather, vetiver, patchouli, clove, tonka bean, labdanum absolute, amber, vanilla, and musk. A 17 ml of this one is a really cheap $45, and you get the 34 ml for $80. And for this one, I really like the way this one starts on my skin. It's a really spicy tobacco fragrance, a little bit of vetiver, a little bit of vanilla, a lot of clove, a lot of tonka, sandalwood. Now, it doesn't last on my skin that long, and I want to be really forefront honest. I can just tell you these are dab vials, and with me, for whatever reason, sometimes on my skin, they don't last as long as when I spray something. I don't know why that is, but sometimes it just happens. So this one might last longer if I actually sprayed it. It's beautiful. I love the mix of spice. The clove and tobacco and vanilla is up there with any tobacco vanilla fragrance I've ever smelled. It just isn't, for me right now, it's not a strong performer. If it was a strong performer, this would easily be one of my favorite tobacco fragrances, but it seems to dry down or die down quicker than a lot of these other ones do. And so that, for me, that's a little disappointing, but I love the quality of this one. I love the natural notes of this house. I think if you're looking for like really authentic accords and notes, great house for that. Next one is called Forest Walk. Notes on Forest Walk are black hemlock absolute, fir absolute, western red cedar, oakwood absolute, geranium resin, jasmine sambac absolute, the violet olabinum, labdanum absolute, natural oak moss, H&E patchouli, New Caledonia, orris, benzoin, and earthy notes. A little bit more pricey for this one, guys. This one's $55 for the 17 ml or $105 for the 34 ml. Still really good prices. And this probably is my favorite of the bunch. I love piney resinous fragrances. I was sort of introduced to them by Serge Luton with Fianna Gui, and this one really does a great job of giving a more natural take on that fragrance. That one I still feels a little synthetic. This is really, for me, I get pine, I get woods, and I get that real hardcore green galbanum, and I love that. I think this is one you could just spray on really casually on like a fall day, even a spring day, like a couple sprays, because these really, other than, for me, the tobacco one, these just go for so long. You can spray it on, you're gonna smell so natural, and you just have that really almost fresh, the galbanum makes it really fresh and clean pine vibe. It's amazing. It does smell like you're literally just taking a walk through the forest. I know there's so much going on here. I'm a New York City kid, right? So I don't really have the reference to walk through a forest and tell you what else I'm smelling, but I get that galbanum, I get that pine, I get a lot of woods, and I get oak moss. And I just think the combination and the blending here is so beautiful. We're going to finish off with Winter Woods, which follows the $45 to $80 price model and features notes of Gaiac wood, cedar, sandalwood, birch tart, cade wood, oak moss absolute, castoreum, amber, labdanum absolute, vetiver, ambergris, and musk. And this one's really interesting. So this one sort of starts off almost like a forest fire. Like it's really dark, resinous, smoky, like you're literally walking through the remains of a forest fire. It might turn you off. I would understand how this one turned you off. But like most good things, most good things come to those who wait. You have to give it a couple minutes, a half hour, and then it turns down to a really beautiful ambery vanilla fragrance. It's just beautiful. It sort of smells like the remnants of what that fire might be in the air after that, and you just get this beautiful smoky vanilla. Not super smoky. The vanilla is very dry and dusty, but the quality here again is just, oh man, it's superb. This is something I would love to spray on in the winter, maybe a half hour before he actually is going to where I want to go, to let that sort of smoke dry down. There's a lot of fragrances I know like this. Naomi Goodsir Bois d'Assis is sort of like this. If you let it go for a little bit, you sort of get this, you're rewarded with this wonderful ambery vanilla, and I think you get that too. And I really, again, the quality of this one is just superb. And guys, I think that's my takeaway on Sonoma Scent Studio. Man, I think what the West Coast, and especially the Northwest sort of area, and I know Sonoma is really more central, it's just amazing. They're using the environment around them and the geography for inspiration. I think of places like Juniper Ridge, and these houses are just really taking that environment and turning it to something beautiful and different, and something that really the rest of the world can't offer. And what I like about what Lori's doing here is she's bottling up in the perfect size bottle. She's almost bottling a part of the world that's you can't copy it. You know what I'm saying? It is its own thing. It really is individual to the land, and the prices are really, really, really good. The performance on these, obviously I didn't have a great experience with the one, but the rest of them are just through the roof. And you look at like Slumber House and Imaginary Authors, and they're sort of just taking what's inspiring them, and they're doing such a good job of representing it, and they're doing it away from like major niche perfumery. They're sort of doing their own thing, and I think that's awesome. I support it to the death. I recommend you guys do go to Sonoma Scent Studio. Of course, I'll link in the description. Check some of these out. A 17 ml bottle, guys, is not going to cost you much money. A 34 ml bottle is not going to cost you much money. And you guys have no problem paying $200, $300, $400 for these niche fragrances that often, for me, in my opinion, don't really have a rhyme or reason behind them. And here there's a very clear aesthetic, and it makes a lot of sense, and there's a love behind them, and there's a passion, and you sort of get the theme, you get the why, you get why are these people making these fragrances. I think it's very easy to see when you smell Lori's fragrances. I think they all have a theme. I think they all have a commonality, and I think they're just beautiful to wear. So let me know what you guys think. If you tried Sonoma Scent Studio, go out, get some. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm bugging, if you think I'm right. But I really stand behind. I think this is a great house, and I think it's really underappreciated online. I know that written reviewers have really done a good job covering Sonoma Scent Studio. I don't think reviewers on YouTube have, so I'm trying to at least get that going. There are some other reviewers that have looked at these, so I don't want to claim like I'm a pioneer here, but I would like you guys to look at these and let me know what you think. Of course, I will link to them in the description, guys. Lots more scent safaris coming up, I promise you. I have another, I don't know how many houses sending me stuff, so I hope to cover them all in the next couple of weeks. Hope you guys enjoy these. Guys, you already know what it is. Oh, by the way, hopefully I will be specifically covering equestrian in the next couple of weeks. But let me know what you think, guys, and I'll see you again real soon. You guys know what it is. My name is Maximilian, and I must know Sonoma Sense Studio. Peace.